Welcome to the Scalpel of Truth, the podcast providing cutting insight on how to rise to the top in the medical aesthetics industry with your host, Leisa Krause, aka the Bitch and Beautician. That's Leisa with an E, which stands for explicit, because in this surgical suite, she won't sugarcoat the truth, and yes, there will be some seriously salty language, not suitable for sensitive souls, children, nor pets. As a business consultant, Leisa shares the knowledge and lessons she's gleaned over 30 years in the industry. Time spent working directly with patients, managers, and med spa owners alike. Her practice growth strategies are sharp, her stories and wit sharper, and her panache for bringing the spice the sharpest. So buckle up, bichachos. Leisa is about to slice and dice another episode of The Scalpel of Truth.
What's up, my badass bachachos? Welcome back to The Scalpel of Truth, where we rip the bandaid off the hard truths about running a med spa. I'm your host, Leisa, aka the Bitch and Beautician, and today we're diving headfirst into a topic that's making every med spa manager and owner lose their fool minds, and that is flaky as fuck staff. We're talking employees or contractors, you know what I'm talking about. You plan a killer training session or a workshop, you spend a boatload of money bringing in a consultant or a trainer, and boom. The morning of, half your team suddenly can't make it. I'm sick, my kid is sick, the nanny canceled, I forgot I had a chiropractor or a dentist appointment, I have an optometrist appointment I just remembered and can't reschedule. All these fucking excuses start piling up. Well, today, we're calling that shit out, and I'm here to tell you, this can't make it culture has got to frickin' go. So, let's get into it. Here's the legal part I need to read. This podcast is presented solely for educational entertainment purposes. Guys, I'm just your beauty business bitch. I'm not a licensed therapist or an HR representative, nor am I a lawyer. This platform's used to share my experiences with what's made me a successful service provider, a manager, and a business consultant for those whom I coach. Got it? Beautiful. Okay, first let's call it what it is. It's a complete lack of respect. When your staff pulls this last minute, I can't make it bullshit, they're saying, I don't give a fuck about your time, your money, or this business. And what's worse, they're screwing over everyone else who actually shows up and puts in the work. The truth is, if they're constantly bailing, they're not just a pain in the ass, they're a liability for your business. So I have heard some serious lame-ass excuses. Literally, like I've heard them all. I'm sick. Well, of course you are. You're always sick when something important's going on. Or my kid is sick. Yet I see you posting pictures of your brunch on Instagram 2 hours later. I got into a car accident. Oh, really? This is your third one this month. How about I've got an eye appointment and that can't be scheduled? Like, are you kidding me right now? Unless you're going fucking blind after spending thousands of dollars. How about my aunt died? That's crazy. Your aunt died 3 times this year. Like, holy shit. Why are we putting up with this? It's always the ones who need it the most who are the first to bail. Is this a coincidence? I think not. I've literally been scheduled to come in due to 1 or 2 people's behaviors on a team, and sure enough, it is always those ones who suddenly can't make it after I've been flown in, or it's a virtual call. It happens. Honestly, I've even been told that some staff have checked me out on social media after like a workshop has been booked, and they're scared to come to the training. I was literally told that. The only fucking reason you'd be scared to come to one of my trainings is because you know I can see through your bullshit and that you're doing something wrong that you're guilty of. I've had people try and get out of it. Like, what do you do when they try and get out of it, but then they come because they know they're going to be written up if they can't come to the training? So they do come and they're not happy about it. They sit there with their arms crossed. They don't participate with a sour fucking look on their face and their arms crossed. And little do people know, though, Little do people know, I give feedback to owners and managers about who I think, due to participation, needs to go. And I don't care if you have a quiet demeanor, you can be shy as fuck and you can still participate. Let's go over this. Let's really talk numbers. Every time somebody no-shows or cancels last minute to a training or a workshop, it's not just their opportunity to learn that they've lost. It's costing you serious cash in the long run. You're paying for consultants, trainers, and most importantly, your time away from patients, which hurts the revenue of your business. I always try and book these things for me, my trainings, off production hours, but sometimes that's not, it's not a thing that we can do. Sometimes if we're wanting to respect the evening hours of our staff, we do book it off for patients during the day and we do on production hours. It's like this. You've invited someone to like a 7-course meal and they ghost you and you're left holding the fucking bill. Not to mention the effect it has on the rest of the team or morale. Like one person flakes and suddenly everyone thinks that they can pull the same crap. And if you're a manager or an owner and you let this slide, you're telling your team that your time, your investment, your training, none of it actually matters. We need to hold people accountable. And here's why so many managers and owners fuck this up. They let it slide. You hear the sob story, you feel bad, you tell yourself next time they'll show up. Newsflash, they will not. Why? Because you've already showed them you're a total pushover. What's the message that you're sending when you let things slide? It's that your time isn't valuable, that the commitments to the training aren't important, and that flakiness is okay. So before you know it, your whole damn team's infected with this lazy ass can't make it virus that spreads like wildfire. So how do we correct this flakiness problem? How do we stop the madness? Okay? It's time for some tough love. And I know that I'm going to say this. You're just sitting there and you're like, oh, this bitch is going to tell me I need to toughen up. They're going to tell me I need to fire these people. Yes, you're right. And deep down, you know I'm right. You don't want to be the pushover weak ass. You don't want to be disrespected. It gets you to your bones. I know this. I used to be a pushover. I used to be a people pleaser. I am in my fucking villain era. Let me tell you, because it gets exhausting. You start having panic attacks. You're full of resentment. You're trying to be nice to these people that walk all over your ass. So how do we stop the madness? Number one, you're going to write them up. You're going to make it mandatory. The first time somebody bails on a mandatory training and you write them up and you put it on the record, like this is a job. This is not high school. So you need to have this as a policy. And then maybe the next time it's a performance improvement plan. Maybe you put them on a PIP. If that happens again, then you make it clear it isn't a casual request. They need to show up or get out. One of the two. And then thirdly, you got to fire them. If they still don't get it and they're on a PIP and they do something like not show up, you've got to fire them. You deserve to have a team that's committed. And if they don't respect your time, your investment, they don't deserve to work for you. And the other thing is you're always hiring top talent anyway. So if you need to fire some lazy fuck, you've got a lineup of people waiting to work for you because you're amazing and you are somebody that everybody will respect and you have a good environment. These are all the things you know you're good at. So step it up. Stop being a doormat. Trainings need to be non-negotiable. So no more free passes. I know this is very Miranda Priestley, but unless someone has cleared it with you first and they absolutely can't make it, I would say try and change the date so that everyone can attend. But if there is a major, like somebody's going to be off on mat leave, if they're off on surgery or something like that, if they're in the ER, the only other thing is to provide their own fucking death certificate. There is no excuse for a last minute cancellation on a training or a workshop. So unless you're bringing me your own death certificate, I expect you to be at the training. So, oh my gosh, get the fire extinguisher. Seriously. the fire extinguisher, if you're French and classy. Okay, so these trainings are non-negotiable. I'm not talking about a sniffle or a sore throat. I'm talking about valid reasons only. If somebody has to miss, they need to give you proper notice and just none of this same-day bullshit. Okay, you've got to set a standard. And if they don't show up, they're not a part of your team. Simple as that. And if you don't enforce this, you will have a team that never respects you, your business, or their own growth. As the owner or manager, you need to set the standard. If you allow flakiness, that's the culture you're going to build. And as soon as flakiness starts, toxic culture starts, drama starts, backstabbing starts, stealing starts. It allows for bullshit. If you demand professionalism, that's what you're going to get. It's as simple as that. You teach people how to treat you by what you're willing to put up with. And that is in life, in business, in a relationship. It doesn't matter what it is. Your team is a reflection of your leadership. If you're letting them slide, showing up on trainings, late, not coming at all, what else are they slacking on? Your patient care? Recommending retail as a support of the treatments that they're doing? Your med spa or aesthetic practice deserves a team that shows up, not just physically, but mentally. They're showing up ready to learn, ready to grow, ready to elevate your business. There's nothing that irritates me more than walking into a training and having people sit there as if it's an infraction on their time of me sitting there teaching them something. Honestly, like I'm at the point in my career that if I'm coming into a workshop and you're not jazzed to be there, get the fuck out. Go. There's the door. Grab your purse. Today might be your last day if I have anything to do with it. You're not somebody who deserves to be in this industry. That's the thing. And yes, it's harsh. Absolutely, it's harsh. I'm well aware that it's harsh. If you are not an expert and showing up as a revenue generating business builder and you are a paycheck collector and you do not show up to trainings, you don't deserve to be here. Here's the bottom line, guys. Hold your team accountable. Stop letting flaky fuckers get away with terrible excuses. You're running a business, not a daycare. If they can't respect your time, they don't deserve to be on your team, period. Have them tune into this episode. I've got broad shoulders. I give zero fucks. Let them listen to this. I'll tell them for you. Okay, you're welcome. All right, bachachos. That's what I have for you this week. I love it. These podcast episodes always get my blood pressure going. I got to check myself for a pulse here. Make sure I'm not going to have a heart attack or a stroke. So if any of you are in need of putting someone on a performance improvement plan, a PIP, or you're in need of documenting any of this bad behavior, if you need any templates, I want you to consider investing in the Bitchin' Templates package. You can snag it off the Bitchin' Beautician shop site and use code BITCHIN15, that's BITCHN15, to save 15% as a perk of being a loyal listener to the podcast. As always, I am grateful that you choose to spend your time with me and that you invest in yourself and your team by gaining wisdom from spending time together and listening in. I invite you to share this show with your staff, your colleagues. As always, I appreciate so much your love, your shares, your comments, your shares to your stories on Instagram. I want you to stay sharp, stay focused and fabulous, and make sure you're not letting the tail wag the dog at your clinic. Oh, guys, I love you so much. I appreciate you. And for my VIP bachachos that are part of Club Bachacho, I want you to stay tuned for additional pearls of wisdom for managing flaky staff. I want you to join me at the after party. And if you're looking for additional wisdom and some serious perks, I highly recommend that you subscribe to Club Bachacho for a membership. You can go to scalpeloftruth.com and you can get signed up for either monthly or annual. You save a little money when you sign up for an annual membership. And then you get behind the scenes content, additional episodes, some Q&As, lots of perks of being a member. So I'm going to say goodbye. I love you. Keep crushing it. Join up for the membership, and I can't wait to see you soon.
Don't want to wait to see things stay the way they are.